Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
We will honor all the martyrs!
We will honor all our martyrs!
Our children, sons and daughters!
Our children, sons and daughters!
We will honor all the martyrs!
We will honor all our martyrs!
All the children, sons and daughters!
All the children, sons and daughters!
Hey, Israel, what do you say?
Hey, Israel, what do you say?
How many kids did you kill today?
How many kids did you kill today?
Hey now, Israel, what do you say?
Hey now, Israel, what do you say?
How many kids did you kill today?
How many kids did you kill today?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So before we get into our program, we just have a couple of announcements that we want to run through real quick. So, first of all, this is a peaceful demonstration. Hate speech of any kind will not be tolerated. If you are engaging in hateful rhetoric, you will be asked to leave. Signs and flags are all good. I think we all know the routine by now that sticks and poles are banned, but I don't see any, so we're good on that. Please do not engage with counter-protesters. We don't want to start anything. If any issues arise, look for organizers. We are wearing these buttons, either to say YDSA or DSA, so you can find one of us, and we are here to assist you. As far as the pathways, like in the very back, just keep that like free. There are not a ton of people back there, but we just want to make sure that if anyone's coming through, they're able to get through. For accessibility purposes, all of these benches here are seating, so you're welcome to sit there, but if someone needs that seat, they can sit there. And of course, please don't like stand on the benches or whatever those things are called. We want to use that as seating. We acknowledge the pandemic is a tool of genocide in the US, Palestine, and globally, and we encourage mask wearing both to protect ourselves, others, and to combat state surveillance. We do have masks over at our table if you need any. We would also like to remind you that you are not obligated to give any information to the police. You have the right to remain silent. Use it. If any issues with the police arise, we have a police liaison here who will assist you. We don't anticipate anything, but of course we want to be prepared. We do have a legal observer who is here with a green hat on. They are only there to observe police and university officials. They're not like surveilling us, and they're going to only use those notes if something goes down, and we need to take advantage of that. Also, we have our table over here where we have a lot of information. If you want stickers, pins, we have those. There's a lot of upcoming events that are coming up, so if you want to see the events that are going on there. We also have Plan B and condoms free of charge. If you need any of those, we have those provided. So thank you all for coming, and let's be safe and enjoy the rally.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can you all hear me? Yes. All right, thank you all for being here. My name is Lily, and I am one of the co-chairs of Towson University's chapter of Young Democratic Socialists of America. I would like to welcome everyone by asking a seemingly simple question. Why are we doing this? Last spring, a divestment bill passed SGA, calling on the Towson University Foundation to divest from funds which support the Israeli bombardment of Gaza and the genocide of the Palestinian people. Although the students want divestment, the university has yet to act on it. We want the university to cooperate with us, as Towson University Foundation representatives have stated publicly that they are willing to work with students on the issue of divestment. Last summer, the TU Foundation said it created a group to begin divestment. towards divestment has been made by this group. It has been a year since the divestment bill passed, and we demand that the TU Foundation work with us to end our university's monetary support of the most well-documented genocide of our time. Second, we also want to be able to track the university's progress on divestment. This means transparency in the TU Foundation's investments. This way we can know if the university we attend is financially benefiting from or spending money at institutions which are harmful and unethical. Third, because we stand against all iterations of state-sponsored violence, we are also calling on the university to reinstate its previous stance on ICE on Towson's campus. This includes vowing that Towson University is a safe place, a sanctuary for undocumented students. This is especially important in the light of the case of Mahmoud Khalil, who was arrested by Homeland Security for participating in protests for Palestine at Columbia University. Though Khalil is a green card holder, DHS took him away in handcuffs and accused him of terrorism. Since his arrest, a number of other activists have been detained by ICE simply for expressing support for Palestine or otherwise criticizing the current administration. Rumeza Oxter, a Turkish doctoral student at Towson University, was detained by masked officers and taken to a detention center in Louisiana despite having a student visa. Oxter was kidnapped for her support for Palestine. This horrifying episode, among so many others, is why we need to know that Towson University will protect their students and their right to express their views, regardless of political affiliation. We are here today to defend what we believe is just, that our university should not support genocide, and that our university should not be complicit in the oppression that the Trump administration is perpetrating against immigrants. Particularly undocumented immigrants. We are calling on the university to support its students' right to freedom of speech. Someone should not lose their freedom of speech because of their race, immigration status, religion, or any other factor. We are also calling on the university to establish our campus as a sanctuary campus wherein undocumented immigrants are protected. This was done in December of 2016, after President Trump was elected for his first term, as the university stated that TU faculty and staff would not cooperate voluntarily with ICE. By standing here with us today, you join us in our fight to ensure that Towson University is a place for learning, not for fear and suppression. Thank
Hello. We're going to be now participating in what we call an Asada chant by Asada Shakur. So it's kind of a call and response thing. So after I say a line, you guys say it back to me, and then we're going to do it 3 times, and each time get increasingly louder. Okay? Okay. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
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 Thank you.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
Not another nickel, not another dime.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
No more money for Israel's crimes.
Free the people, free the land.
Free the people, free the land.
No
No peace on stolen land.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice. We will not put up with ICE.
No hate, no fear, immigrants are welcome here.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Don't give in to racist fear.
Don't give in to racist fear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
Immigrants are welcome here.
When I say block, you say ICE. Block!
ICE!
Block!
ICE!
Hello, everybody. My name is Zachary Box, and I am a United States Marine. I served in the Marine Corps for 5 years, and 3 of those I spent working at the National Security Agency. At this position, I held a top secret security clearance that gave me an intimate view of the genocide in Palestine. And if there's one thing I can give you to take away from this, is that it is not just Israel committing this genocide. American intelligence, American bombs, and American weapons are being used to murder innocent Palestinians every single day. I have seen images that haunt me in my sleep. I have seen men tortured to death for the crime of standing up for their families. I have seen women who were raped hundreds of times before being granted the bliss of death. And I have seen the babies. I have seen hundreds of fucking babies. Every single day I was at work, and I knew that Biden was seeing those same dead children, and that Harris was seeing those same dead children. And Trump is getting daily intelligence briefings right now where he is seeing those dead children. And they don't give a fuck. They would much rather enrich themselves and their cronies through selling bombs and giving away vital intelligence to Israel. And it is not bad enough that our university invites ICE onto our campus to terrorize minority students, but they also allow entities like the NSA, the DIA, the CIA, and ROTC, entities that are actively involved in this genocide, in recruiting, training, and funding the genocide happening right now in Palestine. We need to stand up, and our voice right now is divestment. Every dollar that the Towson University Foundation sends and invests in Caterpillar, Lockheed Martin, or Raytheon is a dollar spent on genocide, and that dollar has your tiger name on it. If we do not push for divestment, then our name will forever be branded on this genocide. But divestment is not enough. Divestment cannot be the end. The genocide will continue with or without our money. The only way to end this genocide is to organize, to get involved, join an organization, join YDSA, DSA, PSL, whatever you want to. But you have to start with building the people power. And there can be no peace until Palestine is free, and there is no freedom until we're all equal. As long as there are Zionist settlers stealing land from Palestinians, and as long as the IDF is there murdering anybody who stands up to fight for them, then there will not be peace. We will not accept half measures, and we will not accept a two-state solution. A democratic Palestinian state is the only solution that will lead to a free and equal world. Thank you.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Hello, Towson. Hello. Nearly 150 years ago, Towson University was founded in 1866, 1 year after the conclusion of the Civil War. Nearly 100 years earlier, this country was founded on the expulsion of foreign kings and the destruction and seizure of noble property from aristocrats who shot Americans dead in the streets.
Shame.
But we did not destroy the domestic kings, the bosses, oligarchs, and wannabe tyrants that styled themselves as modern pharaohs, and who are now coming for all of us. They are coming for our Pell Grant funding, they are coming for our neighbors, they are coming for our future.
Shame.
Do you feel it? This current moment, 250 years of American history, 100,000 generations of humans facing climate collapse, the threat of fascism, the erasure of our democracy. It is not something we will stand for, it is not something we have to stand for.
Right.
Why are we in this situation? It is students' job to be students. We are already doing our job. It is admin's job to administrate.
Right.
Where is the administration? Here is the difference. The difference between being a collaborator and being a fighter. Is comfort stronger than love? Are you more comfortable sitting, waiting as your neighbors are nabbed one by one? Or will you stand up together and stop it? Because let me tell you, we can stop this in any moment. We can stop this in any day. The only way the system perceives is if we do not stand up together and stop it in its tracks.
Right.
If you are not willing to be brave with our voice, why do you have it? Who gives you the right to represent us? If you will not represent us, we will take that voice back and we will speak for ourselves as the Student Solidarity Coalition, as the largest coalition ever assembled on this campus of 20 plus organizations, hundreds of students. Now, admin, it's been 10 months since we passed our divestment resolution. You may have time for podcasts and games and glamour, but you also have time to talk with us.
Right.
You can talk to us now, or you can talk to us later, when we're even more powerful. That is what the students are telling you.
Right.
So, I want to say, we have seen what students are under. Even before these more recent moves, we understand coming here, we are consigning ourselves to 20 years of debt bondage. We all know that.
Yeah.
Now, they want to come for even more. This is an all or nothing fight for the ruling class. That is why they're willing to destroy their own norms, the institutions which secured our power, the institutions that kept them dominant. It is because it is all or nothing for them, and it must also be all or nothing for us. We cannot grind or hustle our way out of these systems whose goal is to extract and take our personalities, take our souls, and erase our existence into a profit line and a number of stocks. That is not who we are. We are living people with living spirits, with living goals, and we will have our living future. Because it is our future, it is the students' future. It is not their future, it is not the billionaires' future. They are the old, we are the young, and we will overturn all that seeks to overturn us.
Right.
The Student Solidarity Coalition will withdraw any of our power and support from any organization, institution, or representatives that are not willing to directly represent us. Student power from now on comes directly from the Student Solidarity Coalition. This is a democratic and revolutionary movement because this is a democratic and revolutionary moment, and we must be democratic and revolutionary to save our democracy and to save each other. Long live Towson, long live the Student Solidarity Coalition. Thank you.
you can't hide.
TU admin, you can't hide.
Anti-Project 25.
Anti-Project 25.
TU admin, you can't hide.
TU admin, you can't hide.
Anti-Project 25.
Anti-Project 25.
It's closed. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest.
It's closed. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest.
It's closed.
Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. It's closed. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. It's closed. Divest. We will not stop. We will not rest.
So, you guys may remember that ICE was at the career fair. Well, they were going to be, but they weren't because we kicked them out. But what we have to understand here is that this was something that the administration kept secret, and not just secret from us, the students, but from other administrators. And I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to get yelled at, but I will say there were people in this university, very high-ranking, who knew, or who did not know, who were intentionally left out of the conversation that ICE was going to be coming to the career fair. Keep in mind how they hid that from students, and they said it was Homeland Security investigations, which, I guess ICE is part of Homeland Security, but they knew what they were doing when they intentionally hid that from us. And when the members of our university leadership, those who are, let's just say, more connected with the students, decided to speak up and say, this is not okay, they were shut down. They were told that we don't care and that we're not going to do anything. And then they told us, and they said, we have to tell the students. And so then it became our deal, and we said, we will not let this stand. But we want to make it very clear that the cover-up that happened with ICE is just another chapter in this culture of secrecy at this university. There have been other things that have happened here, unacceptable things that have happened that people have not been told about. And the lack of transparency, not only from the TU Foundation, but also the TU administration, is absolutely unacceptable, because we deserve to know who's coming, who's being employed, but also this news should not have been kept from people who they knew were going to rebel. And so we call not only on the TU Foundation, but also on the TU administration to be transparent and to stop lying to us.
My name is Jackson Evans, and I've come to pick a fight with a tyrant. And I ask you all today, who do you fight for? Is it for the man who has been deprived of his home, his health, and his family in Gaza, or the widow in Kiev who prays daily for peace, air, and life? Is it for the aid worker who went thousands of miles overseas to help someone who is now jobless and afraid? Is it the trans person who's worried about their future, or if they will be accepted? Or is it your colleagues and classmates, your fellow students, who are worried that they will get deported, who are worried that they will lose their student funding? We do not fight for one. We fight for all of them. And when they come for us, they come for all of us. And it has been the students that have fought for the future the most. It is students that fought for the end of Jim Crow. It is students that fought for the end of the war in Vietnam. It is students that fought for Palestine. It is students who have been fighting for the end of police brutality. And we got another fight coming, folks. And let me tell you, we're gonna win. Because we gotta fight for the future. Democracy is too beautiful to die like this. To be killed by fascists. To be killed by frankly idiots. They are Delulu with no Salulu. And they will condemn you all. They will condemn you all to be radicals, revolutionaries, traitors. Well, guess what I do today? I condemn you all to be radicals, to be revolutionaries, to be traitors. Because that's what they call Abe Lincoln. That's what they call John Brown. That's what they called Martin Luther King, who all fought for a better world. Now we are following their footsteps, and now we are going to win just like they did.
Yeah, we are.
Because we will win. We always win. The moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. And we have to win. This is America. We are the ones fighting for these stars and stripes. You cannot call yourself a patriot and still never fight for the lowest American and treat them as lesser than yourself.
Right.
So my friends, we gotta charge. We gotta charge against fascism, against racism, against sexism, against homophobia, against all forms of hatred, against all forms of bigotry. Why? Because it is your duty.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Who runs to you?
We run to you.
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 That's right.
So, some of you will remember almost a year ago now when we launched in YDSA, we launched our divestment campaign, and we were successful in passing our divestment resolution through SGA, which is cementing the will of the student body in support of divestment. Now, what's interesting about this is about almost a year ago now, the president of the Towson University Foundation, Edna Primrose, actually spoke at an SGA General Assembly, and this was prior to the resolution passing. And she said something really interesting that, to be honest, raised our eyebrows, even back then, at least for me. But she said, quote, if in fact you end up passing the resolution, we will work with you to do the research, to find the solution. We will be transparent. In addition, she also said that apparently we are conscientious and we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. If in fact the resolution passes, you can count on us to do the research and work collaboratively with you. I just wanted to say that just so you know we really do care about this issue. We care about our students. Interesting comments, and we've seen that those are not true. Now, we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew when she said that she didn't actually believe it. I personally am like 99% sure that she didn't think it was going to pass, and so, she can say whatever, and then it passed, and surprise, surprise, right? And then now all of a sudden, we have to actually honor our word, or maybe not. So it has been almost a year. It's going to be 11 months and a couple days, so almost a year that the divestment resolution has been passed. And what we did after we had the resolution passed was we spoke with the foundation, and we said we would like to schedule a meeting so that we can set up a time to discuss, right? So we can go over the research that we have done, so we can talk with you guys about a timeline and set reasonable expectations and all of these things. Now, they did not respond to us, and so what we did is we went to SGA, because SGA is also involved in this process, and what the foundation ended up doing was denying our request, and they actually used SGA as an intermediary to deliver this news. So even though we had actually directly contacted them, they refused to tell us no. They had to instead hide behind SGA and use them to tell us no instead. So, and so what they did do though was they came to an SGA General Assembly, and that apparently counts as them being transparent, because they answered maybe like 5 questions, 10 questions, most of which were not even related to the topic anyway. And then that was like in October, and so apparently the foundation has done their job of being transparent. And they claim to be too busy to be with us. That's what they said. They said that our schedules are full, and that there's not a time that a single person could make like a couple minutes to come talk to you. So we got that too. But anyway, so we have this General Assembly, right? And the foundation, right, they talk, they say things, they don't make any promises, which we knew they wouldn't. And then that was the end of that. And so we reached out to them again, and we're like, okay, like we would like to meet with you, we like to do all this stuff. And of course, what do? They don't respond, which we've obviously come to expect at this point. But we have not given up on divestment, it remains in the forefront of our minds. It's one of our top priorities, and we will continue the fight because we know that ultimately, even though this is not our tuition dollars, this is still being done in our name, right? Even though the foundation, they get their money from their donors and all this stuff, right? But they are still investing in genocide in our name. And several years ago, the foundation actually had a fossil fuel divestment campaign, and they were almost like 95, 99% something divested from fossil fuels. Now, we know that the politics of that divestment are very different from the politics of the divestment that we're doing. But we know that the foundation is able to stand up. We know that the foundation is able to do the right thing. And so we continue to push them, and we will continue to pressuring them into divestment because, again, they did not promise divestment, but they promised transparency, they promised to work with us, and even that very, 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 very basic promise has not been met. Just like, we'll talk to you. They can talk to us and say no, whatever. Like, the very, very bare minimum, they have not done. And so the struggle continues. We will not stop, we will not rest.
Every time the media lies, a neighborhood in Palestine dies.
Every time the media lies, a neighborhood in Palestine dies.
Every time the media lies, a neighborhood in Palestine dies.
Every time the media lies, a neighborhood in Palestine dies.
One more time. Every time the media lies.
Every time the media lies,
A neighborhood in Palestine dies.
a neighborhood in Palestine dies.
Hi everyone, my name is Nina. I'm the Vice President of the Muslim Student Association. I just want to talk about how it has been 17 months since Israel has begun its bombing campaign and genocide in the Gaza Strip. Since October 7th, 2023, over 50,000 Palestinians have been brutally killed. Over 100,000 are injured or missing under the rubble, and among them, over 25,000 children have been murdered. Devastation has reached even the most basic institutions of life, with more than 80% of the schools have been bombed and over 30 hospitals destroyed, leaving those in desperate need of medical care without access to help and families starving. The entire population in Gaza is actually suffering from starvation as a direct result of the ongoing siege. These numbers represent more than statistics, their lives, families, futures, and dreams that have been lost. And I want to honor all of these martyrs and those who are there and still continue to endure all of these atrocities. So I will now ask all of you to take a moment of silence to hold space for them in our hearts and for the countless others whose names we will never know about. So let's take a moment of silence. I want this silence to remind you not just of those who we've lost, but for the resilience and hope that Palestinians are still showing us every single day. They still continue to fight, and they still, let's not forget their struggle and what they're still going through today. Thank you.
Hello, can you guys hear us pretty well? Okay, we project? Okay. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today. You know, I have never ever spoken at anything like this before, but in a time like this, I will be damned if I do not have something to say. Hope. What a big fucking word. How do you even begin breaking down such a concept? For some, it comes into day by day, when they know that no matter what comes of today, there will most likely come a tomorrow. For others, it comes in the mundane, the knowledge that whether or not we engage with the unknown, or perhaps the possibility of a tomorrow, is ultimately up to us. It is to love and be loved in turn, a moment of utter humanness as we share a smile with a stranger passing us by. And yet still, it is within the structure of a perfectly hierarchical system of human productivity, at the top of which sit the rich and the bottom, the poor. A system such as this, one might think, bears little fruit from following, should it be bound by this description. How can a system such as this, one that implores us not to liberate ourselves from it, but to fall rhythmically into the struggles orchestrated by it, hold such power? How can a society so outright dismissive of the nuances of human experience be one us very humans remain complicit in enforcing? Perhaps such a system ought to be restructured. But the system, as dehumanizing, criticizing, and dividing as it is too a product of our making, one powerful enough to shape us into maintaining it. It incentivizes us through fractured fairy tales of success and glory, packaged into an unsuspecting box we call the American dream. But most times, we don't think to ask ourselves what exactly this dream entails, how this dream is built. While it is easy enough for many to say that the construction of the dream matters less than the product it sells, I, and I'm sure you all would be inclined to, beg to differ. So here, much to the dismay of the unsuspecting folk, this is what I have come to speak with you on today. In understanding the ideals presented to us by the American dream and the implications they carry in light of the dangers currently being forced upon us by the Trump administration and the blatantly fascist manifesto Project 2025, I invite you to imagine a ladder, one that I'm sure has been helpful in conceptualizing late-stage capitalism for you or many others you know in these times, where the effects it has on us are too difficult to overlook. On this ladder sits a collective, though how collected they are is up for question. At the top of this ladder are those the system has deemed the elites, and boy do we know the elites. As if they have earned those top spots, they look down upon us, those subjected to the lower 8 of this ladder, for should we be sat even halfway up those steps, we may be close enough to humanize. Drown this 8th of the systemic ladder, sink them into the blackest depths of despair, so say those monopolizing the highest steps. Separate them further yet from the corporatized aspirations we've propagated in service of this good old-fashioned American hope. The hope that gives them the very right to be human. Where do we turn when all is for naught? For in a world like this, it is not to each other. See, for many years, the plans of the monopolies were unclear, and we swam about these seas, the same ones we currently find ourselves drowning in. But little by little, some of us began to question the nature of these waters. And those who persistently questioned found themselves sinking deeper and deeper, yet closer and closer to the truth. That the very waves we have learned to call home were but a byproduct of the saliva that pooled out of the mouths of the elite as they grew hungrier and hungrier, indulging in the whims of a hedonistic urge that could only be satiated through our misery. And so the questioners began to wonder, how much of that saliva was actually spit? But swim as we may in the ocean we share, the mere acknowledgement that we drowning exist in the same sea at the same time is not enough to enlighten all of us. No. We cannot see one another suffer, for the salt in these waters is burning our eyes. We cannot hear each other scream as these same waters have seeped into our throats. But something sees us now, staring us down expectantly. We can vaguely make out the shape of a bird. And should our eyes be free of enough salt to squint, we'd begin to see it as such. It soars a significant distance above us, seemingly dejected by the way we look kicking about in the water. But to our tortured bodies and our tired eyes, he may as well be in arm's reach. And then, as if nothing exists but ourselves and the creature, it is as if the waves stop crashing for but a mere 2 seconds. You can come with me, he says, but you cannot bring the others. The waves crash down once more, and the force brings about a ringing in the ears of us drowning. With the little strength we have left, we fight the force of the tides and turn our heads. A whirlpool is forming in the distance. Storm clouds have begun circling overhead. The energy of the seas has shifted. Much of the drowning have followed suit. For one fleeting moment, those following catch a glimpse of us drowning around them. In the next, they steel their resolves, and to the bird they respond, what others? Had their liberation come solely from their removal from the sea, perhaps what happened next may have changed. Had they understood that the bird they deemed their savior was not local to the waters they'd suffered within, they may have paid more attention to the beings that were. Now, it seems, they've earned a space on that ladder, a seat untouched by the ocean that with one simple look threatens to pull them right back into the storm. But the water was not the only thing they had to worry about. Several steps below them, in great juxtaposition to how the steppe dwellers had left them, the beings in the water began to tread of their own accord. They shouted and splashed, their uncalculated kicks of shock and fear becoming skillful strides of unadulterated awareness of the others around them and of the ladder above them. The water was as relentless as it had ever been, but after decades of existing within it, the beings were able to find one another in the turmoil, and the people stopped drowning. Nothing sustains a bird but worms and trees, but the people united shaped the tides of a sea. Of course, you and I know this isn't about birds or trees or worms or seas. It is, however, still about us. Hope in this world is the biggest of words, and it represents distinct associations for each and every one of us. But we must be careful not to misplace our hope, or to mistakenly believe it must come at the expense of those around us, our fellow students, or neighbors, teachers, or strangers. Though some of them will choose to leave us behind, deceived by that ugly orange bird, his trusted fucking feeders, and the very system they believe will save them. Now the next time one of them tells us it's Palestinians who want to steal our hope from us, citizens of Yemen or Haiti, trans people, drag queens, black people, poor people, Native Americans, the detained immigrants in El Salvador and Chrome Detention Center, you or me, we must take a thorough look at that fucking ladder and remind ourselves of who the real enemy is.
We will not repeat the past. We will make the first the last.
We will not repeat the past. We will make the first the last.
We will not repeat the past. We will make the first the last.
We will not repeat the past. We will make the first the last.
We will not repeat the past.
We will not repeat the past.
We will make the first the last.
We will make the first the last.
Hello, everyone. If I could have you just turn around and face the people behind you right now. During the moment of silence, this group of people back here were talking the entire time. And I think that speaks volumes on your lack of empathy and humanity for the people of Palestine.
Right.
And that's all I have to really say about that.
Right, come on.
Thank you.
What the heck?
Hell yes,
So this is part of a pattern because we had a vigil in the fall of 2023, right after October 7th, feels like so long ago. And the one and only Chris Chulos, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, was talking during the MSA prayer service. Now, unfortunately, he's not here for us to tell him what we think of him. But he was like over there by the steps. He was talking to someone. I don't remember who. And MSA was over here doing their prayers, and he was talking the entire time. So, yeah, just thought you should know that about Chris Chulos, the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts. Just some information you might find interesting.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
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 Okay. Hello, I am Pepper. I am the president of Gender Blur, and I'll be speaking on behalf of Gender Blur. We are the trans club on campus, if you aren't aware, and I will be explaining why Project 2025 is vehemently trans misogynist and why you should care about that as a cisgender person. I'll also be speaking on some overarching queer issues. So, everyone should care about this. Yes. As you may or may not know, I am a trans woman of color. More specifically, I am an African American trans woman. Many people mistakenly believe that it is not on minorities to stick together and somehow one group is worse than the other. I'm here to tell you, my experience as a minority did not change by my being trans. I just got pushed up the hit list. It was never safe for me to walk alone at night. I thought it was for a while, but when a sheriff tightens his pistol as he looks at you, because you're a black person in a hoodie in the dark of night, you realize it's not safe to be dark in the dark. Growing up black is realizing that you're gonna have to have two the talks. First, the birds and the bees, followed by a conversation about how some bees are WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and the others, the world wasn't made for those kind of bees. Before they reached me, or before I learned about these injustices, I learned about these injustices before they reached me. And the first time I got profiled as a black person was scary. As a trans woman, I know exactly what it's like to have male privilege stripped away from me. And in this context, male privilege is an innuendo for clothing. Yeah, women don't get the privilege of consent or being listened to when they say no, at least exceptionally less so than men. No matter what I do or how I present myself online, if I speak, I am called a slur. As a trans woman, we don't typically have the magic $1,000 surgery to change our voice, and we don't typically see our voice change via second puberty. We voice train. At first, I sounded like a black man. That one's easy. They called me a nigger with a hard ER. But then, I sounded like a gay man. That one was also easy. They called me a faggot. When I was starting to pass a little more, it got a little more confusing, and I started to blur the lines. Now they're calling me a tranny. But finally, now, my voice passes as a woman, and as you can imagine, I apparently need to get my whore ass back into the kitchen. Constantly, people scream out, "I didn't think the leopards would eat my face," and I'm here to tell you that they will, no matter how many marginalized groups you sacrifice. Agreeing with a hate group is hateful, and that fact holds true no matter what screen you hide behind or what screen you hide your hatred behind, no matter what marginalized group you attack. It's not just happening behind a screen though. It's getting harder to live life in real life as well. Trump's anti-DEI campaign has made being black objectively harder. It's made being trans femme, like myself, objectively harder. And whilst I do not plan to be a race, the fact of the matter is that some of us will be if we don't fucking unite. Eliza Ray Shoup Eliza Raichu, reportedly the first person to get an X gender marker, died by suicide using the trans flag to hang themselves. Sending a message to this country and its corrupt leaders after Trump's flurry of executive orders, discrediting the existence of trans, let alone non-binary people. May they rest in power. Eliza's story is not a story in isolation either. Trump's claims to not associate with the directions of Project 2025 are bullshit. We can see it play out bar for bar, line for line. They said they'd get rid of transgender ideology on day one, and Trump has acted on the exact plans that Project 2025 outlines to do so. They got rid of the TQI, which stands for trans, queer, and intersex, on the federal websites. They tried to get rid of, and on some websites it's still there, but they tried to get rid of gender identity and orientation on all the federal websites. And now they're claiming that the official doctrine of the United States is a two-gender, two-sex system. I'm here to tell you that even if you do not believe that trans women are indeed women, they are. I'm here to tell you that your TERF rhetoric, i.e. trans-exclusionary radical feminist rhetoric, or what is more recently known as TERD rhetoric, as they are not feminists, just dickheads, is just misogyny re-flavored to get the vote of the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant women.
Right.
The idea that trans women needed to be banned from chess, darts, hell, even roller derby is silly. That idea isn't just rooted in trans misogyny, it's just misogynist. There's no biological difference expressed in chess to begin with, like, actually none. The ways Project 2025 seeks to outlaw LGBTQ plus mediums are the same. The idea is that by banning books, or in other words, pornography, they can erase our culture, or in their words, keep children safe. If you agree with the banning of books, I fear you're too far gone, but as I imagine those very deep, very well may be here counter-protesting today. Let's assume you really are insane enough to think that that's okay. To achieve this, they want to dismantle sex discrimination protections under Title IX. That's the same title that sought to end sexual violence, such as sexual harassment, sexual abuse, retaliation, dating violence, and stalking in the worst place. As you can imagine, when they attack one of us, they attack us all.
Right.
If you think you're safe based on skin color, gender, sex, and orientation, they'll just get you for your class, and they will make shit up or ignore the laws to get you next. Nobody at this rally, not a single soul, not even any potential county rally member, is a member of the elites. If you let them leapfrog over me, they'll get you. Or they'll just take us caged birds down with one stone. As some of you may know, Towson's Queer Plus clubs in the Life, Queer Student Union, and Gender Blur and Disabled Student Union are leading a joint front to get the senior leadership to speak with us about some issues we've seen. Number one, Towson's acceptance of hate groups on campus. Every semester, a Christian fundamentalist group is allowed to enter the campus and harass trans and queer members alike. They believe sexuality and gender are sins, an inherent evil. We want and will continue to demand the intolerant hate, or the intolerance of hate. And I don't mean that in the pro-apartheid way of conflating anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Fuck that. And fuck so-called Israel, aka the apartheid.
Right.
Number two, Towson's secrecy with ICE and their invitation, as well as their failure to protect their undocumented students. It doesn't have to be a queer issue for it to be an issue, but for your information, trans people are exceptionally at a high risk of having their documentation being stripped away in accordance with the outlines of Project 2025 and their bullshit views on gender. But do not be mistaken, this affects everyone. Mahmoud Khalil was a citizen, green card green card holding, and everything. Number 3, accessibility. We want more accessible, gender-neutral bathrooms. Just a flyer or a heads up to say, we need this space, if you don't, kindly fuck off. But ideally, in certain buildings, unhidden bathrooms. We also want campus accessibility buttons to be better. What's the point of campus accessible buttons if they don't fucking work?
Right.
The CFA, Center of Fine Arts, fails on these and more. So yeah, Towson can do better, and their infrastructure is a logistical nightmare, and don't even get me started on the fucking riot stairs. They're actually right up there. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. I have been Pepper, representing Gender Blair. Remember, clash or crash.
Free Mahmoud, free them all.
Free Mahmoud, free them all.
Free Rumesa, free them all.
Free Rumesa, free them all.
Free Mahmoud, free them all.
Free Mahmoud, free them all.
Free Rumesa, free them all.
Free Rumesa, free them all.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
Hi again, everyone. Once again, I'm Mina. I'm the Vice President of the Muslim Student Association. I want to talk about how right now we are facing great threat to some of our most fundamental rights. We are seeing students being detained and disappeared by ICE agents just for talking about Palestine. The right to free speech, the right to protest, the right to speak out against injustice is all under attack right now. The Trump administration's Project 2025 is a direct assault on our core freedoms and democracy, and it's unfolding right before our eyes. This is a direct attack on the freedoms of immigrants who now face the threat of deportation and surveillance for simply expressing their views. It's an attack on rights of LGBTQIA individuals, as we see efforts to strip away protections and target their very existence. It is an attack on women as reproductive rights are rolled back and their autonomy is undermined. And it is an attack on our freedom of speech as students, activists, professors, and scholars are being punished and silenced for speaking out about the ongoing genocide in Palestine. Trump's government is using tactics of fear, deportation, and intimidation to silence those advocating for Palestinian human rights and dignity, and those who speak out against Israel and criticize the genocide they're committing in Gaza. Take Mahmoud Khalil, for example, a Palestinian student at Columbia University who was just arrested by ICE agents in front of his pregnant wife, despite being a lawful permanent resident of the United States. Columbia University did nothing to protect him. His only crime was speaking out in protest of Israel's atrocities in Gaza. And another student, Rumesa Öztürk from Turkey, at Tufts University, who was also detained by ICE for voicing her support for Palestinians, and Tufts University did nothing to protect her. We saw the same with Badar Khan Suri, a Georgetown scholar of Middle East and South Asian studies, who was not even participating in protests. He is just a scholar of those studies. And Seo Chung, a permanent resident from Columbia. And the list goes on, like Mahmoud Tal at Cornell, and Ali Reza Dorordi at University of Alabama, who are all facing similar threats right now. This is not just a handful of students. This is a concerted effort to silence and dissent and intimidate anyone who stands for Palestinian rights and speaks against Israel. These are people who are being punished for exercising their rights to free speech, peaceful protests, and if we allow it to happen to all of them, we are setting a dangerous precedent of it happening to all of us. Because if they are not safe, none of us are safe. By using the guise of combating anti-Semitism, the Trump administration is paving the way for deportation of foreign students based on their political views and deporting non-citizens simply for their political speech. It is unconstitutional and a violation of rights. This is an attempt to silence vulnerable student protesters, especially those on student visas and on other immigration status. And the result, a chilling effect on political expression, as students fear that speaking out could cost them their ability to stay in the country and pursue their educations. It's an attack on free speech, and it's happening under the pretense of combating anti-Semitism. We should all be deeply concerned about what is happening. We are watching our rights erode right before our eyes, and if we don't act now, we may soon find that it's not just students who are targeted. The right to speak out, to protest, and to demand change as a whole is under attack. And if we let that happen to them, it can happen to anyone. We must demand that these students be released immediately, and we must stand with them, because all of our struggles are connected, and if they come for them, they will come for us. It is more important than ever to stay informed, to build communities, to organize, because our most fundamental rights are under attack right now, and we cannot afford to stand by and do nothing. I know that there's nothing anyone can do to stop me for fighting for my Palestinian brothers and sisters. I will not stop talking about the horrors and violations of human rights they are facing every day under the hands of Israeli government and the United States. I want to honor students like Mahmoud Khalil by continuing to fight and refusing to let them silence us, because we are stronger together when we stand together. We will not let fear, silence, stop us from fighting for each other. We will not allow fear to come before empathy and love we have for one another. We cannot abandon our morals, because that is what they want. They are scared of what we can accomplish together. If they can harm these students at universities like Mahmoud Khalil, they can harm us. So as long as we stand together, we cannot be defeated. So let's keep pressuring our university to do things like divest from genocide and to be more transparent, like when threats on campus like ICE are here. And let's continue to work together. Thank you.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
We will honor all the martyrs, all the mothers, sons, and daughters.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming today. As we come to a close, I just wanted to come up here and read a poem that is very close to my heart. I'm sure we're all highly familiar with it, but right now it is honestly the best expression of what we're going through that I can find. My name is Leo, I'm with YDSA. I am an immigrant. I am also an Ashkenazi Jew. My great-grandmother went into hiding from the Nazi forces and was shot at by a Nazi plane as she fled. She also spoke Yiddish. My great-grandfather survived a gruesome winter in the surrounding areas of Moscow, eating nothing but frozen beets that him and his mother would go out every day to a frozen field that a farmer had thankfully forgotten to harvest and dig in the frozen ground until their nails broke to get this food. So just a quick reminder that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. They are nowhere close to each other, and all the Jewish people that are bravely standing up against the Israeli state are living proof of that. First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one still holds as much weight as it did back then. We need to know that we have each other's backs, that we will speak for each other, and that we will stand by each other in the face of this oppression. Cory Booker yesterday made history with his 25-hour filibuster. Yet during the entire time, he has failed, or had failed, to mention any of the students kidnapped by ICE. He also put on a yellow pin during his time up on stage, to express his support for the kidnapped hostages, or taken by Hamas in Gaza. His blatant disregard for a high number of his constituents who are against the ongoing genocide shows that the Democratic Party does not have our back, and they truly never have. They will collaborate with fascism, they will appease it, they will pretend to fight back with their empty promises and their shows of nothing really other than wearing pink and holding little signs. We need to organize amongst ourselves. Reach out to your neighbors, your family, the rest of your community, your educators, the guy at the grocery store who bags your food. Build communities. Know that if you are ever in trouble, you can have someone to turn to, no matter if it's a YDSA member, someone from one of your other clubs, someone in your family, your neighbor, anyone like that. We are strong together and we will defeat this. Thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Say it once, say it twice.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
We will not put up with ICE.
Say it once, say it twice.
Say it once, say it twice.
We will not put up with ICE.
We will not put up with ICE.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
So with all of this, ICE stuff, it's important to remember, and it's very obvious. I know none of you need a reminder, but it's important to remember that the university has not said anything. Now, not just about ICE at the fair, but no one's received guidance at all. The extent of the guidance has been to honors college faculty, and it's really just contact the general counsel and have them wait outside, which is whatever. So we call on the university to not collaborate with ICE, release guidance, stand in support of students. So we thank all of you for joining us here today, but we hope that for some of you, this is only the beginning and that you will escalate your involvement with us. So there's a couple things I want you guys to know. So 1 week from today, we will be having a YDSA, we'll be hosting a divestment information session. So next Wednesday, 6 to 8, so it'll be this time. So if you are free now, you better be free next week to come to LA 2114, and we will be going in depth about the divestment campaign. We'll be talking about the work that we've done, the work that we will be doing. We'll also get into the very little financial information that we can share because most of it is not publicly available. But we will share what we can share about the TU Foundation and their funding, where the money comes from, the divestment stuff. So if you want to learn more about divestment and potentially even get involved, your assignment is to come join us next week. In addition, 2 days later, after that, we will be having another meeting of our Student Solidarity Coalition in Burdick Room 111. So come out to that. That'll be on Friday, April 11th from 4:30 to 6:30. And then on Wednesday, the 16th, over in Stevens, we'll have a Know Your Rights training, so you guys can learn about what to do and how to handle ICE. Information for all of these events, including the town hall, is over on the table. Also, you guys can follow YDC on Instagram and you'll find all the information we'll be posting about all of that stuff. In addition, we have some stickers, buttons, pins, that's all available. We have events that some of our comrades and other organizations are doing out in the community. If you're interested, you want to go to those and show up. And then we also have condoms, and we have Plan B, which has been an excellent paperweight this evening. But we have Plan B that we are giving out. It is all free, so if you need it, if you know someone who needs it, we are providing these to our community for free, so we want you to take advantage of those. So we have Lily, who's just going to say a couple more words. So hang in with us just for a couple more minutes and then we'll be done.
All right, everybody, thank you for bearing with us. I know it's getting a little chilly, but we appreciate y'all being here. So as we wrap up our time together tonight, I want to thank all of those who have spoken and shared their stories. Let's give them another round of applause. Yeah. All right, everyone here today serves as a reminder that the students of Towson University have taken a stand against oppression globally and here at home. Let us make a statement here today that we will not be complicit in the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people. We will continue the fight for divestment here at Towson University, as we cannot stand by and willingly watch our university play a role in the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians at the hands of the apartheid state of Israel. We would also like to reiterate our demand for the university to publicly voice its support for immigrants, documented or otherwise. Immigrants form an integral part of the TU community and ought to be protected. We would like to see the university to provide clear guidelines for faculty and staff for interacting with ICE, and TU should call on employees not to cooperate voluntarily with ICE. As undocumented immigrants are uprooted from their homes, and many immigrants with legal documentation have been unrightfully detained, it is our duty to stand up and to fight for justice and due process while expressing compassion for our fellow human beings. The fight for justice does not end today. If you'd like to stay engaged, join YDSA. Come to our divestment information session next Wednesday from 6 to 8 and Liberal Arts 2114. You can also join our Discord and GroupMe chats and follow us on Instagram through the QR codes that are located on this table at the front of Freedom Square. If you'd like more info, please come up here and we have plenty of people waiting for you to give you some information and to answer questions. And we would like to see you all next Wednesday to participate in our divestment information session as well as group organizing time. Thank you all again for your presence here today. Woo! And we will never give up the fight for a free Palestine and for a better future. Thank you.
We'll do one more chant to send us off. When Palestine is under attack, what do we do?